Okay, in this particular video, we are still talking about scatter plots. However, we're not looking at a graph this time. We're going to be talking about scatter plots as a scenario. So the association is going to be described to us in words, and we have to kind of picture it mentally to figure out what type of association it's going to have. So let's read the directions. Based on the description of the bivariate data, determine the type of association you would expect to see. So again, we're going to have to visualize these. We don't have a graph, we just have a description this time. So for number 1, the size of a home and the cost of the monthly utilities for the home. So it's kind of hard to mentally picture that. So I always like to start off if something is increasing. So I want you guys to remember the three types of association are positive, negative, and no. So I'm going to outline that very quickly on a sheet of paper. So we know that if we have positive, both situations are going in the same direction. So in order for it to be positive, both things are increasing together. Okay, it's going in the same direction. When it's negative, we have them going in opposite directions. So for example, one variable or one set of information is increasing while the other is decreasing. So that's going to cause a negative association. If they're both going the same direction or both increasing, it's going to cause a positive association. And then no association would be when there's nothing alike. Like they don't have any type of relationships. They don't cause each other. There's no association whatsoever. So we're using this information in today's lesson with the description. So I always like to start by visualizing if something is increasing. So let's start off with the first thing that they're describing, the size of a home. So I want you guys to think. As the size of a home increases, and I'm going to represent that by an up arrow, what is going to happen to the cost of the monthly utilities of the home? So think, as the size of the home increases, what should happen to the cost of the monthly utilities? So the bigger the house, the higher the cost. So the costs are also going to increase. So with that being said, the higher the cost of utilities. So we'll just put higher utilities. Okay, so with that being said, this type of association is going to end up being positive. So this has a positive association because both of them are increasing. As the size of the home increases, what should happen is the cost to heat the home, cool the home, power the lights on the home, all of those costs should increase as the size of the home also increases. Okay, the next set we have the number of items ordered at a restaurant and the cost of the bill. So I always like to start by saying whatever is listed first. Let's visualize it if it increases. So as the number of items increase, what should happen to the bill at the restaurant? Okay, so as you order more items at a restaurant, the bill cost or the cost of the bill is also going to increase. So because both things are increasing, going the same direction, this type of correlation is also going to be positive. Okay, let's think about the altitude of a hiker. So that's how high up the mountain he's going and the total oxygen level in the air. So again, I like to think about the first thing increasing. That's just how I personally visualize it. So as the altitude increased, so as the hiker gets higher, what happens to his oxygen level? Or the oxygen level that is in the air. I did the wrong color, darn. Okay, so as he gets higher, the oxygen level in the air is going to decrease. Okay, so on this one, we have them going in opposite directions. One is increasing, the other is decreasing, so that is called a negative association or correlation. Okay, number 4, the number of students in a school and the number of unused lockers. So first, I just like to say that as this one increases, so as your number of students increase, what's going to happen to those unused lockers? So as you have more students coming to the school, the amount of unused lockers are going to go down because students are going to be filling those up. So your unused lockers are going to decrease or go down. So these are going in the opposite direction, one increasing while the other decreases, and that is called negative correlation, or that will show a negative correlation or association. Okay, the next one, the temperature outside and the total gallons of gas sold at a gas station. So let's just think as the temperature increases outside, so let's say that the temp increases, what happens to the total gallons of gas sold at gas stations? Well, let's think about this for a second. As in the summer, do people still need gas in their car to go places? That answer would be yes. So let's even think about what happens if the temp decreases. In the winter, do people still need gas in their cars to go places? Yes. So this one should have no correlation. But Miss Sands, what about in the winter and you get snowed in and you can't go anywhere? Well, those are true cases, but people still got to get to work and people still have to put gas in your car. So what you should expect to see still is no correlation. There's no relationship, no effect, no association between outside temperature and the total of gas sold at gas stations. There's going to be no relationship there. Okay. On number 6, the number of letters in a person's name and the person's IQ. So just like I said, let's think about the first one increasing. So the number of letters in your name, so in a person's name. As that increases, what happens to that person's IQ? So just because that the letters in somebody's name is higher, that person's IQ is higher? Is that true? Okay, what if somebody's letters in the name is low? So because you have less letters in your name, that means that your IQ is lower? No, I don't think these have any correlation. So these are no correlation. There is no association. Just because you have more letters in your name does not make you have a higher IQ than somebody else. Just because you have fewer letters in your name does not make you have a lower IQ than somebody else. So again, today we're not looking at graphs. We're just looking at a description about scatter plots. So and based on the description, you need to figure out whether it's positive, negative, or no. And I always like to do that by positive. They're both increasing. Negative, one increases, the other decreases. No is there's no type of relationship or association or correlation between them. And then always start off, this is just me personally, I always like to start off by whatever is listed first in my description, saying, visualizing as that thing increases. What happens to the second thing that is listed in that description? Does it increase as well? That would be positive. Does the second thing decrease as the first increases? Opposite directions, that would be negative. Or does it not really matter? And so therefore, it would be no correlation. So again, I hope this video has helped you and you are figuring out whether it has a positive, negative, or no correlation based on the description today. Best of luck.